You can't go to South by Southwest. In fact, you can't even go to Austin without making sure you eat some really good barbecue. And so, of course, we had the great idea of going here to Terry Black's Barbecue, one of the best barbecue establishments in the city, to see what all the hype is about. So, of course, once again, I'm Liquid Hungrybox and I am hungry as fuck. Let's go in. This is a very popular place given by the line outside and just the sheer amount of people who are here 5 minutes before this restaurant even opened. And without anything else being said, given the quality of the meats here and what people are saying, I have a good feeling that the meal I'm about to eat and the quantity of food that's gonna be placed in front of me in a second is gonna be out of my league completely. So in usual keeping with HAF tradition, we approach the chef, the cooks behind these great meats, and we ask them, what are the 3 most ordered meats here, and what are the 3 most ordered sides here? We're gonna make sure we give each of these a certain rating from 1 to 10, based upon all the barbecue I've eaten in my life. It should be some pretty safe scores, so we'll see. And this macaroni and cheese, I like the fact that they use the really big, thick noodles instead of the really small, thin ones that you see. But this looks like it's nice and classic. A nice just, in between your bites reminder of why cheese is such a great element to any meat that you eat. They already gave me a little bit of nostalgia. It's definitely very light, it's creamy. It doesn't have too much punch to it. It's just very, very, not too much in your face mac and cheese, but I think the reason they do it is because they want to make the meats the star of the dish, and as a noodle drops in my pants, it's all good. But yeah, that's phenomenal. That's an easy 8 or 9 out of 10 on macaroni and cheese. Definitely solid. Moving on to the coleslaw. I think coleslaw is necessary anytime you eat barbecue. Sometimes people make coleslaw a little too complicated, and that might actually make the eating experience a little worse. So I'm looking for a very light, fresh taste in this. I would have liked to see the coleslaw chopped a little more finely, because when you get into this, sort of the onions are very long strands, like you see right there. I mean, I personally don't mind it. For a lot of people, they might turn them off. But in general, it still has a nice light taste to it. It's also a good palate cleanser between meats because it's a very, very strong contrast to what a meat would taste like. So pretty good on the coleslaw. I'll give it like a 7.5. And strangely, you would think that most barbecue places would recommend either baked beans or the cornbread, but they give us green beans. So I have a feeling that for some odd reason, the green beans here might be something special. So we'll take a whole one and see how it is. Wow. Well, these are like so soft and so just like, it's a surprising texture to these green beans that I wouldn't normally expect. Wow. I'd probably give these a 9. I actually haven't eaten green beans like that. That's very surprising. So I'll see which one of these 3 sides I keep going to back and forth. But now, let's get to the star of the show. 3 meats, 3 barbecue sauces. I'm gonna try the combinations. So we have original barbecue sauce here. Spicy. And of course, sweet. Now, I don't even know where to start here, but I guess this gigantic beef rib that literally, as I picked it up, slid off the bone from gravity might speak to how tender it is. We get a half bite there. Beautiful. Oh yes. Put a little bit of the sweet barbecue sauce on it, just like that. Why am I so surprised? I'm here thinking I'm gonna eat a piece of meat and I'm gonna try to attempt to describe what it tastes like, and then, as always, be lost for words. With the spicy sauce instead too, on the beef rib. No. Confirmed. Confirmed. That's easily one of the best ribs I've ever had. You guys gotta try this. I'm gonna save you some, because it is insane. That's, I don't want to be too like, easy going with these ratings, but if that's a beef rib, that's a 10 beef rib. That's a 10 out of 10 beef rib. I have no qualms with it. I'm gonna take this home as a souvenir. TSA is gonna confiscate it as a weapon. But that's not my problem. Oh my God. So, I mean, I'm not gonna be surprised. The pork rib, I'm already gonna guess the pork rib won't be as good for me as a beef rib, just because I can already tell it's not as tender, but that's not their fault. That's sort of the nature of the meat. So for a pork rib, there's a lot more standard what you see right here. They have the bone inside, cooked in it, but the same seasoning charred throughout. And the good thing is too, it's not too shredded up. Comparing the beef rib and the pork rib, which you shouldn't, but I do. Pork rib, it definitely has a nice smoky taste to it. It's probably not been cooked as long as a beef rib, but they cooked it well. The meat has more chew to it, but I think the seasoning of the beef rib is actually a lot better. But you know, it's still executed very, very, very well. If I came back here, I would choose a beef rib over the pork rib in a heartbeat. So if I give the beef rib a 10, I'd probably give the pork rib an 8. Still really, really good, and I wish that meat was a little easier to pull apart for it so far, but still very, very solid. And now we get to what I've always called the king of meats, my favorite meat in any go-to place in barbecue, and the standard for how good it is, brisket. Beef brisket, one of the most tender cuts of meats. So at this point, I'm gonna try to go for a moist piece. I like when you're looking at it and just a little bit of fat is coming down. It's like, okay, you know this is fresh. Early predictions, it's not gonna top the beef rib for me. That's already, I ate that one first and it was already like, done. They cooked that lean brisket beautifully. Had a bit more chew to it than I was expecting. I would have personally wanted it to be more moist, but again, if you're a barbecue restaurant, you can sort of have a preference as to whether or not you traditionally cook your brisket lean or moist. I think the strategy here, actually, with eating barbecue with brisket is whenever you go to a place like this, they always offer a bunch of white bread on the side, like so. So what you want to do is actually put some brisket or any meat that's really, really tender inside a piece of bread, and I think this is the way you're meant to eat it. And then, of course, you make a sort of meat taco, if you will. Cover it in some sauce. Let's go with the spicy. So here you go. Spicy brisket taco. Eat your heart out. Taco Bell. All right, let's see how this is. This side. I wouldn't say it's my all-time favorite brisket, but in terms of the standard that Austin holds to meat, I can see why people come here a lot. That is very, very excellent. I'm gonna give that brisket probably an 8.5. Took one more bite of it. So no meal or any barbecue meal is complete without enjoying a great Texas dessert. And of course, here to give me this dessert is the very own manager of Terry Black's, Clay. How you doing today?
I'm excellent, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Well, this will polish your meal off proper. This is peach cobbler.
Oh my.
We got some vanilla ice cream.
It's so warm.
That is a true Texas dessert. And then this is some house-made banana pudding.
Oh.
Back there slicing bananas right now.
That's look at that, just the peach jam, just. Oh, what? What?
That's decent, right?
That's like a hidden boss here. Where'd that come from? I thought my meal was over. That is amazing, dude. I'm gonna go into this one. This is the banana
pudding.
Banana pudding. So peach cobbler banana pudding. Yeah, this like I was saying with the mac and cheese, this has a huge feeling of nostalgia for me. Back when I was younger, I would go to neighbors' barbecues. They would serve something very similar to this.
Okay.
Or do you think the owners and Terry Black's, the founders, were they inspired by their childhood and what they serve here?
Absolutely. My owners are a fourth-generation barbecue family. They grew up in Lockhart, Texas, a small Texas town not too far from here. And this is what they did with their childhood. This is old-school barbecue, banana pudding, peach cobbler.
It's the same Nilla wafers I had when I was little,
too. Absolutely. And there's little bananas in there too.
Oh, dude, that's man, it just tastes so fresh. It's like exactly what you want to eat after that big hearty meal full of meat. And of course, now if I was saying nostalgia, I literally ate these in middle school. These little cup ice creams.
Cafeteria style, right?
But that, who says that's a bad thing, right? I'm gonna get some cream in there and one last bite. I'm home. I've been home.
Excellent.
Clay, I had a great meal here, and I think in a little while we're gonna go ahead and check out the cooking process behind these amazing meats.
So right now, you see, I got a fattier side of the brisket here, leaner side of the brisket right here.
Okay, gotcha.
Brisket are lower pectoral muscles of the cow. We got 2 per cow. And then you see on these lean ends, they kind of start curling up. They're so thin, they start cooking faster than the rest of that brisket. So that's why I got some foil on these edges here. Help save a lot of moisture. That will suck out a lot of moisture from that whole lean
So
side.
you put the foil on there because one of the parts might cook a little too quickly, and it's the sort of way to slow it down?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, like I said, as far as seasoning on here, it's salt and pepper. Nice and simple.
And then you have the little thermometer here. It's smoked, barbecue, or grill. It's always on smoke.
Yeah. These are about an 8-hour smoke time on these guys
Look
here.
at those bones. Oh my goodness.
That's one of the smaller racks we got right there.
Small.
Yeah.
Man.
So that's about halfway through the cook on those.
You can see
that's still pretty hard. So
all the salt and pepper just like crumbled on there beautifully throughout the entire thing. You guys cover every single angle of it.
oh yeah. Yeah, these will get trimmed and seasoned the day before. So these are sitting overnight in that salt and pepper. That salt will help pull a lot of moisture out of that meat overnight.
Yeah, and so like Clay was saying, it's just a man, meat, and fire, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else too complicated.
Yep.
You take your meat covered in salt and pepper, put it into the pit, let it do its work. Wow. That's heavy.
Yeah, I got counterweights up top.
Okay, I see.
Keep it from falling down on our heads. Help lifting it up too.
Do you guys have any plans of getting any new meats to the menu anytime soon, or are you gonna keep it the same way it's been for this whole time?
Keep pretty traditional.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we can get to mess around with stuff here.
Right.
Just for ourselves, but.
Why ruin something perfect, right?
Right.
All right, man. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
And that's how you make some meat.